Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you has the power to completely shift the direction of your life. There is one thing, just one, that is responsible for most of the emotional pain, frustration, disappointment, fear, and heaviness you feel. People try to change their habits, change their relationships, change their environment, change their careers, but they never change the one thing that is actually causing the suffering, and until this one thing changes, nothing else can. It's not your past, it's not your circumstances, it's not the people who hurt you, it's not the opportunities you missed, it's not luck, timing, or destiny. The real thing causing your pain is the story you tell yourself about your life. It's not what happened, it's the meaning you attached to it. It's not what they said, it's what you decided it meant about you. It's not the failure, it's the belief you formed because of it. Human beings do not experience life based on facts. They experience life based on the story they create from those facts, and for most people, that story is a prison they don't even realize they're living in. You may not see the bars, but you feel them every day in your energy, your confidence, your decisions, your fears, your relationships, and your dreams. Every time you say, "This is just who I am," you're repeating a story. Every time you say, "I always get hurt," you're repeating a story. Every time you say, "I can't," you're reinforcing a story. Every time you say, "My life is hard," you're strengthening a story. Every time you say, "This is my fate," you're choosing a story that was once forced on you. And here's the truth. That story wasn't born from strength. It was born from pain. It was born from moments when you were younger, weaker, scared, confused, overwhelmed, or trying to survive something you didn't understand. You created a story that made sense at the time, but now that story is destroying you. Imagine a person standing in an open field. No walls, no fences, nothing holding them back. But in their mind, they believe they're trapped inside a prison cell. They don't move not because they can't, but because they believe they can't. That's what happens when you live inside a painful story. You don't try new things, you don't trust people, you don't take risks. You don't dream bigger, you don't believe in yourself, you don't pursue your potential, not because you aren't capable, but because your story convinces you that you're not. You're not in pain because your life is limited. You're in pain because your story is too small for the life you're meant to live. Pain happens when the person you are is fighting against the person you believe you are. Your soul knows you're capable of greatness. Your potential knows you're powerful. Your heart knows you're meant for more. But your story keeps pulling you back into the same identity, the same patterns, the same fears. And your story sounds like this: I'm not enough. People always leave. I don't deserve better. Life is unfair to me. I always fail. I'm not lucky like others. No one supports me. I can't change. It's too late for me. And on and on and on. These aren't truths. These aren't facts. These aren't your destiny. They're just thoughts repeated so many times that they feel like reality. But reality is very different. Reality is neutral. Life is neutral. Events are neutral. It's you who gives them meaning. Two people go through the same situation. One grows, one falls apart. The event is the same. The meaning is different. One person fails and says, "I'm a failure." Another person fails and says, "I'm learning." One person gets rejected and says, "I'm unlovable." Another person gets rejected and says, "This wasn't my person." One person suffers pain and says, "Why me?" Another person suffers pain and says, "This is building me." The story is the difference. The meaning is the difference. The identity you attach to it is the difference. Your pain doesn't come from your past. It comes from the meaning you gave your past. It doesn't come from failure. It comes from the belief you attach to failure. It doesn't come from what they did. It comes from what you decided that meant about your worth. Your suffering comes from resistance, resisting what happened, resisting reality, resisting growth, resisting change, resisting responsibility. You're trying to create a future while holding onto an identity built in fear. You're trying to climb into a new life while dragging the weight of old stories, and every old story is a rock in your backpack, making every step feel heavier. Imagine walking with a backpack full of rocks. Every rock is a belief like, I'm not good enough, nothing works for me, I always get hurt, I can't trust anyone, I'm never chosen, I'm too broken, I don't deserve success, and you're wondering why life feels so heavy. You're suffering because you're holding on to an identity that is too small for your future. But here's the breakthrough. Stories can be rewritten. Beliefs can be replaced. Meaning can be changed. Identity can be rebuilt. Destiny can be reshaped. You don't need permission to rewrite your story. You don't need someone to approve it. You don't need your past to agree with it. You just need to decide. You must make a real decision. Not a maybe, not a someday, not a I'll try, but a decision that says, I am done living as the old me. I'm done repeating the story that hurts me. I'm done letting the past control my future. I choose who I become. Because the moment you make that decision, the moment you claim a new identity, your brain begins rewiring itself. Your emotions shift, your energy shifts, your behavior shifts, your relationships shift. Your future shifts. A story only lives as long as you keep feeding it. Stop feeding the old story. You want freedom, rewrite your story. You want confidence, rewrite your story. You want growth, rewrite your story. You want love, rewrite your story. You want peace, rewrite your story. You want success, rewrite your story. Everything begins with the story. Let's go deeper. Think of the strongest version of yourself. The version of you who is confident, powerful, clear, disciplined, grounded, unstoppable. That version of you already exists. It's not imaginary. It's not fantasy. It's your true identity waiting under layers of fear-based stories. Ask yourself, what story would that version of me believe? What meaning would that version attach to pain? What beliefs would that version live by? What actions would that version take? You don't need to become that person. You just need to remove the story that keeps you from being that person. You were not born insecure. You were not born broken. You were not born timid. You were not born hopeless. You were conditioned into those states. And if you can be conditioned into them, you can be conditioned out of them. Your identity is not fixed. Your story is not permanent. Your past is not a prophecy. When something painful happens, you have two choices. You can say, this ruined me, or you can say, this shaped me. You can say, why did this happen to me? Or you can say, this is preparing me. You can say, I'm broken from this, or you can say, I'm built from this. Your story determines your direction, and the moment you accept that, you reclaim your power. Because pain is not the enemy, pain is the signal, pain is the messenger, pain is the invitation to grow. Pain is the mirror showing you the gap between who you are and who you are meant to be. Your pain is trying to wake you up. It's saying, stop shrinking, stop settling, stop playing small, stop living inside a story that keeps you weak, stop hiding behind excuses, stop clinging to the identity you outgrew. You are not the wounded version of yourself. You are not the insecure version of yourself. You are not the fearful version of yourself. You are not the story you created in your lowest moments. You are the creator of your life. You are the writer of your story. You are the architect of your identity. You decide who you become next. It doesn't matter how many times you fell. It matters what you decide now. It doesn't matter who doubted you. It matters who you choose to be now. It doesn't matter what mistakes you made. It matters what meaning you give them now. Right now, in this moment, you can choose a new meaning. You can choose a new identity. You can choose a new destiny. Let me speak to your soul. You are stronger than you think. You are more powerful than you've been told. You have survived storms that would destroy others. You have endured pain that has shaped incredible resilience in you. You have walked through darkness and still carried light. And no matter what happened, you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still fighting. You're still searching for more. You're still growing. That means you are not done. That means there is more strength inside you. That means your story is not over. The real you, the powerful you, the unstoppable you, is waiting for you to stop repeating the story that hides your greatness. The life you want begins where the old story ends. This is your turning point. This is your awakening. This is your moment of decision. Will you keep living in the story that causes your pain, or will you create a story that unleashes your power? Choose now, because your new life won't start until you let the old story die, and when you rewrite that story, you rewrite your future.